Good morning, children. Yesterday we studied about story of transport. Children, have you read the textbook? Is it clear? Do you have any doubts? Now we are going to learn today. The topic is non-standard units. What is that? Non-standard units. Non-standard units. What do you mean by non-standard units? The name itself says that it is non-standard. That means it is vary. So today's our topic is non-standard units. Non-standard means it vary. Children, now let me ask you a question. How will you come from your home to your school? What is the means of transport you use? Some children come by foot, some children by bus, some children by cycle, scooter. How this varies from person to person? It is because it completely depends upon the distance between the house and the school. The important thing here you have to observe is it depends upon the distance between the school and home. The decision you take, what means of transport you need to use is completely, purely dependent upon the distance between school and your home. Now, see here children, I want to give you a discussion. I want to share a discussion which is mentioned in your textbook. Two of the friends are there. Two friends are sitting in a desk. One day, they got a small dispute. They want to share the bench equally. Could you give an idea to share the bench equally? How can they share the bench equally? Now, the teacher suggested them to divide the bench into equally using Gilli Danda. Gilli Danda. What is meant by Gilli Danda? Gilli Danda is one of the very traditional game. Danda means stick. Danda means stick. It is like this. Gilli means small stick. It will be like this. How they used to play this? Using this stick, they'll just hit on this, it will jump, they'll strike it. It is one of the oldest traditional game. So these two children, what they have done is, they have taken Danda and Gilli to measure the length of the bench. They got it 2 Danda measurement and 2 Gilli measurement where they equally shared the bench. Next day, they started measuring the same way to sit over there. But they lost their old Gilli Danda. They brought one more new Gilli Danda and they started the bench measurement. Then they observed it is 2 and 1 Gilli. 2 Danda and 1 Gilli. This is the first day measurements. This is the second day measurements. Then it became very difficult for the two children to share the bench equally. Then they started, in what way can we measure? Can we go for what way measurement? Then they started thinking of cricket wickets and the pails what they used over that. They started thinking about that. Shall we use this method? If they use the method, the problem will be arising the same. Then they started thinking, what method shall I use? Then they started thinking of string. Children, do you know what is string? String is nothing but the thread I brought here for you. Suppose this is a string. If you take this string, take a marker, give 2 markings over the edges. Then what will happen? This is a string with 2 markings. Suppose anybody asks me, what is the breadth of your board? I'll use a string like this with 2 markings. Then I'll say that my breadth of the board is nothing but string length. So this is the length of a string. Then the children started thinking about, shall we go for that method? Suppose you take this string here to measure this length of the board. This is string length and it will come still one more half of the length of the string. So, like this, if you want, this becomes half the length of the string. This becomes 1/4 of the length of the string. This becomes 1/8 of the string. Once again, I'll say, you see children, suppose for example, to me, I have taken this string, I have given 2 markings over this, I am calling it as as length of the string. Suppose if I fold like this to the middle, I call this as half of the string, that is 1 by 2. Suppose if I give one more folding, I call this measurement as 1/4 of the length of the string. Suppose if I measure the same like this, I call this measurement as 1/8 of my length of a string. Then they started thinking like this to measure the length of their bench and to divide it equally. Here my question is, whatever the method they take, is these methods are standard? Is these methods are convenient methods for them? Then, shall we go for? These are the olden days how they used to measure. Now, first we'll see. Suppose you take a tailor. He want to stitch a kurta. He require measurement. Suppose you want to make a cupboard. Then also you require measurements, length and breadth of the cupboard. Suppose you think about a farmer. Farmer also should know about the length, breadth of his field to find out how many seeds he can sow in his field, how much crop he can grow. So in this way, not only this, when you take from morning to night, how much milk you'll get to your home, how much quantity of breakfast you take, snacks you take, everything, at what time you'll go to school, at what time you'll wake up, at what time you'll sleep, how long you'll study, everything comes under the measurement. So measurement plays a very important role in our life. From each and every point of a moment, measurement plays a very important role. For example, you want to measure length of a room. Length of a room. Length of a room. Suppose you take length of a room. Length of a pencil. Length of a pencil. Length of a pencil. Distance between Mumbai and Delhi. Distance between Mumbai and Delhi. Distance between Moon and Earth. You see, what is the common point you can observe in all these four things? It is nothing but the distance between the 2 points. Length between the 2 points. Length between the 2 points. What is meant by length between the 2 points? Length between the 2 points. We call it as nothing but distance. Is it clear, children? When I take length between the 2 points, we call it as distance. Now here, from this what do you understand? Everywhere we take about the measurements. Now, for example, you take activity 1 in your textbook and you work out on that. How to measure the length of a room, breadth of a room. Length of a room and breadth of a room, if you take length, breadth of a room. Length of a room, breadth of a room. You want to measure. Use your foot and measure. Use your foot and measure. Here we are going to find out the length of a room and breadth of a room using foot. First of all, what you have to do is, you yourself find the length of a room and breadth of a room by foot. Next, ask your brother or sister to find out the length and breadth of a room using foot. Ask your mother to find out the length and breadth of your room using foot. You observe the values in all the cases. You observe the values in all the cases. Whether all the values are same or not, they will differ, they will vary. That means the foot of yours, the length of foot of your brother, length of foot of your mother will vary. And hence we are calling foot as a non-standard unit. Shall we do one more activity which is there in your textbook? Definitely do, children. It will give you some idea exactly. You want to find out, you take out any bench in your, any table, bench or something, dining table in your home and find out the length of the table. Length of the table using handspan. Using handspan. What is handspan? When you take here, how to measure with handspan? You just close these 3 fingers. The distance between this little finger and the thumb will give you handspan. For example, you see, I want to measure the breadth of this board with the help of handspan. Suppose I'll take like this. I'll take here. I'll mark it as 1. Then I'll start once again. This as 2. I'll mark is 3, 4, 5. And one more you got 5.5, you can call it as 5.5 handspans. So when I measure my breadth of my board, I got it as 5.5 handspans. 5.5 handspans. So like this, you take your own table in your home, yourself find out similarly like this. Yourself find out the length of the board, length of the table and ask your brother, ask your mother to find out. Then observe the values clearly. Do you observe all the values are equal? Differ. You observe that all the values will differ. Why? Because length of the handspan of yours, your brothers, your mothers will be different. That means handspan, length of the handspan will be different from person to person. What we call handspan? As a non-standard unit, as it varies. So now children, how many we have learned non-standard units? One is foot, other is handspan. Still more units will learn, children. Before that, let us have a recap over this. So what we have done here, we have seen children using the measurement between 2 points using gilli danda or cricket, bails or the strings. Then I told you in every situation like tailor stitching a kurta or making up a cupboard or the farmer to sew the crops or length of a room, length of a pencil, distance between Mumbai and Delhi or distance between moon and the earth, everywhere we need the measurements. Everywhere we need the measurements. Here I have seen like in activity 1 I asked you using foot, you find out the length of your room and breadth of your room. Here using handspan, find out the length of a table with 2-3 different persons and find out what we have observed in this activities. Foot and handspan will vary from person to person and hence we call them as non-standard units. Children, one thing you understand here, what is meant by measurement? What is meant by measurement? For example, I said measurement of breadth of my board is 5.5 handspans. Measurement of breadth of my board is 5.5 handspans. What is its meaning? Breadth is equal to 5.5 handspans. Children, I have written here length 5.5 means for this board if I take, this is the length, this is the breadth. What does it mean here? Length means you should have a clear clarity, children. Length and breadth are there. Length is nothing but length of a longer line. Breadth is nothing but length of a shorter side. What is length? Length of a longer side. What is breadth? Length of a shorter side. While I am measuring it, I just called as length. But when you strictly take the complete board, this I consider it as breadth, children. Now breadth is equal to 5.5 handspan. What does it mean? Breadth is an unknown quantity. Handspan is a known quantity. That means comparing an unknown quantity with a known quantity will give you the measurement. Comparing an unknown quantity with a known quantity will give you the measurement. Is it clear, children? Now, we'll look into still more non-standard units. Till now, is it clear? Any doubts you have? Definitely do these activities at home. Really you'll enjoy, children. Now, we'll look into some more non-standard units. 1 foot we read. Foot we read. Foot is nothing but your foot, length of your foot. Second one is hand span, I have shown you. Next one is cubit, children. What is cubit? Do you have idea what is cubit? It is nothing but the distance between the fingertip, the distance between the tip of the middle finger to the elbow. The tip of the middle finger to the elbow. We call it as cubit, children. So cubit is nothing but tip of the finger to the elbow. Cubit. Still more olden days if you take, no? Still more olden days if you take. They used to have muthi. What is muthi? It's a Hindi word like muthi. This is muthi. We call it as muthi. Then they have like used to measure with finger. Angul. We call it as angul. Finger, angul. Then here I left one place for here. This is add. What is yard? Add is nothing but the distance between, for example, I'll take you as thread for understanding. The distance between the chin. The distance between the chin to the outstretched arm of the finger. The distance from the chin to the outstretched arm of the finger. This is called add, children. Once again I will say you, it is nothing but the distance from the chin to the outstretched arm of the finger. Till the last finger it should touch. Tip of the finger to the chin. This is called add. Once upon a time in the previous days, King Henry used to use this. Generally, add is used to measure the length of the cloth. Cubit is used in the Egypt in the olden days. Later on, all over the world they started using it. Foot, usually from the olden days, all over the world they are using it. These are some of the non-standard units. Once again, I will say, children, foot, it was accepted all over the world. Generally, they are using hand span and cubit. Cubit was started in the Egypt and later on it was spread all over the world. And started by King Henry. King Henry used to start it in those days and everybody using for measurement of the cloth. Muthi. This is muthi and finger angle. These are a few non-standard units. We call them as non-standard units. Why, children? Because these units, foot, hand span, cubit, everything add will change from person to person. Once again I repeat. Foot, hand span, cubit, add, muthi, finger, all these are said to be non-standard units. Why? They vary from person to person. Hence we call them as non-standard units. Is it okay, children? Nowadays, can you say me, one of the non-standard units is still in existence. Can you guess, children, where you see the non-standard units? Yes, the flower seller. The flower seller used to measure the flowers with this, like this, with a forearm measurement. So nowadays it is also in existence, children. I hope you understood this. If you have any doubts, you can get it clarified by calling me, children. Any doubts here, children? Is it okay? Tomorrow, we'll start with standard units. You all know, children, as non-standard units are varying from person to person, then they started thinking about standard units. I'll discuss with you tomorrow, children. Thank you, children.